It was more than just a happy day for Pandora. Everything had to be perfect for the evening that would be extra special with her husband. When he arrived, he would be greeted with a wonderful wedding anniversary surprise. 7 years together deserved a truly remarkable dinner. As Pandora prepared the feast, she reminisced about their journey together. They had met in school, still teenagers, and their love blossomed into a beautiful relationship built on mutual trust, affection, and respect. They had grown up together, facing life's challenges as adults. Once they finished their studies and began their careers, they knew it was time for the next big step: marriage and building a life together. Dallin, with his adventurous and free spirit, chose a life on the road as a truck driver. Though he loved his profession, his frequent trips kept him away from his beloved Pandora and their 2 children, Chase and Ariana. Even so, their love for each other only grew stronger. They stayed connected through phone calls and messages, keeping the flame of their love alive even from afar. Pandora dedicated herself to their home and the children's education with love and care. She was a true warrior, overcoming any obstacle to ensure the well-being and happiness of those she loved. Even in the most challenging times, she never lost hope for a brighter future, alongside Dallin and their children. Their life was simple, yet brimming with love and joy. They knew they could conquer any hardship together, and the love they shared would triumph over any adversity. Pandora was suddenly brought back to reality as she realized it was almost time for Dallin to return from his trip. She had spent the entire day preparing his favorite meal, and the house was adorned with balloons and flowers. The air was thick with love and happiness, and Pandora couldn't wait to see her husband's reaction upon arriving home. Hours passed, and Dallin still hadn't arrived. A knot of worry tightened in Pandora's stomach. She tried calling his cell phone, but it went straight to voicemail. Her heart hammered against her ribs, an ominous feeling settling over her. She called the transportation company where Dallin worked, and the news she received made her world freeze. There had been a severe accident involving Dallin's truck. Pandora was in shock, unable to process the words she was hearing. She felt paralyzed, lost in a drift. The ground seemingly pulled out from under her feet. Everything she loved, everything that gave her life meaning, had vanished in an instant. Unfortunately, the news only worsened. The police contacted Pandora, confirming that Dallin hadn't survived the accident. The truck had caught fire, and there was nothing left but a smoldering wreck. Tears streamed down her face, a torrent of grief that seemed to have no end. She couldn't understand how this could be happening. She had lost the love of her life, the father of her children. The accident was so devastating that Pandora couldn't even say goodbye to Dallin in a meaningful way. When she finally went to see his body, the casket was closed. The pain and anguish she felt at that moment were indescribable. Pandora yearned for the chance to say goodbye to Dallin, to kiss him one last time and whisper words of love and sorrow. But all that was left was the emptiness and sadness of knowing he would never return. The closed casket stood between them, an insurmountable barrier, as if fate had cruelly robbed her of even the right to say goodbye. Dallin's funeral was a time of immense sorrow and anguish for Pandora and her children. Despite being surrounded by loved ones, their presence did little to ease the pain of their loss. The somber atmosphere seemed to reflect the heaviness in everyone's hearts. When Pandora was informed that Dallin's casket would remain closed during the viewing, she felt a mix of sadness and anger. How could she come to terms with never seeing her beloved husband's face again. This moment marked the beginning of a long journey of grief and healing for Pandora and her children as they navigated the uncertainties of their future. As time passed, Pandora felt the impact of Dallin's absence in her life, both emotionally and financially. With Dallin being the family's main provider, she found herself struggling to make ends meet. Rather than succumbing to despair, Pandora bravely decided to take action. Discovering her talent for making delicious sweets, Pandora came up with the idea to sell brigadeiros, Brazilian chocolate fudge balls, at traffic signals to supplement her family's income. Despite the hard work and exhaustion, she was determined to do whatever it took to support her children. To her surprise, the brigadeiros became a hit in the neighborhood, with people stopping their cars just to purchase the treats she made. Over time, Pandora expanded her customer base and discovered that she could monetize her talent. She began creating cakes for weddings and birthdays, using her skill and dedication to craft true masterpieces. Her delicious and beautiful cakes quickly gained popularity in the town, leading to a flood of orders from all directions. Pandora found immense satisfaction in the success of her business, knowing she still had much to learn, but willing to put in the effort to continuously improve. With determination and perseverance, she was transforming not only her own life, but also the lives of her children, demonstrating that it was possible to overcome challenges and achieve one's aspirations. A year and a half later, Pandora's bakery was thriving, with a loyal customer base and a need for reliable suppliers to support further growth. It was during this time that Pandora crossed paths with Ethan, a friendly sales representative from a company that supplied ingredients for cakes and sweets. From their first encounter, Pandora felt a special connection with Ethan as they shared stories about their lives, dreams, and goals. She recognized Ethan as a compassionate individual with a brilliant mind, and a friendship blossomed between them. Their conversations were filled with laughter and camaraderie, making them feel as if they had known each other for years. Pandora opened up about the challenges she had faced since the passing of Dallin, and Ethan listened attentively, offering words of comfort and support. As time passed, the friendship between Pandora and Ethan evolved into a fragile yet passionate romance. Living in a different state, Ethan invited Pandora to join him and build a life together. Pandora was conflicted. Was it worth leaving everything behind to start anew in an unfamiliar place? She discussed the idea of relocating with her children, Chase and Ariana. Their excitement filled Pandora with hope. Though it would be tough to part with her established life, she knew her love for Ethan was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. Pandora and Ethan communicated daily, sharing messages, photos, and calls. She confided in him about the struggles of managing her bakery, and he offered advice and support. Their bond grew stronger each day, solidifying Pandora's belief that Ethan was her soulmate. One day, Ethan surprised her with a proposal. He wanted to help her expand her bakery in his state, where they could begin a fresh chapter together. He pledged to assist her in growing her business and attracting more customers. Touched by his offer, Pandora realized Ethan was the one for her. Together, they were ready to tackle any challenge, knowing their children's happiness was the ultimate reward. With a smile and a heart full of hope, Pandora decided to embrace this new love and start afresh. The start of this new chapter in Pandora's life was marked by challenges and difficulties, yet she remained steadfast. Her baking skills and passion served as a driving force each day. Determined to establish herself in a new state, Pandora devoted herself tirelessly to perfecting her craft and developing innovative, irresistible recipes. Before long, word of the talented and imaginative baker began to spread. Her name became a topic of conversation among friends and family, establishing her as a respected figure in the region. Pandora's confections were not only delicious, but also exquisite works of art. She expertly blended ingredients, intricate details, and harmonious colors to captivate both the palate and the eye of those who indulged in her creations. In time, Pandora's bakery evolved into a popular destination for celebrations, where patrons sought out her delectable sweets and cakes to commemorate special occasions. The care and passion she poured into each creation were apparent, leading to undeniable recognition and prestige. 2 years after relocating to begin a new life with Ethan, Pandora received a special request from a customer for a birthday cake. The client was Amelia Harper, a member of a prominent family in town and the daughter of a wealthy farmer. Pandora went above and beyond in crafting the cake, personally delivering it to Amelia's residence. She was thrilled at the chance to connect with new customers and showcase her baking talents, especially to someone from the upper echelons of society who could potentially recommend her cakes to others. Arriving at the customer's house, Pandora was struck by the sight of a beautiful mansion with stunning architecture, a lovely garden, and luxurious cars in the garages. However, a shiver ran down her spine as the house seemed oddly familiar to her. She couldn't quite place why. Upon being invited inside by the customer, Pandora was overwhelmed by a strong sense of déjà vu. The smell, the decor, everything felt eerily familiar. And then she saw him, sitting on the living room sofa with a mocking smile, was Dallin, the man she had loved and believed to be dead in a tragic truck accident. He was now alive and well, posing as the customer's husband. Pandora was filled with a mix of anger, sadness, and confusion. How could he be here? Why had he faked his death? And why had he put her and their children through this ordeal? Initially, Dallin denied his true identity, claiming to be someone named Lucas. But as the truth unraveled, he tried to explain himself. However, his apologies and explanations failed to ease the pain Pandora felt. She decided to call the police and reveal everything. Dallin was arrested and faced the consequences of his deceitful actions. It was revealed that Dallin had met Amelia Harper during his travels and had hidden his marital status from her. Taking advantage of her feelings for him, he concocted a scheme for financial gain, even going as far as changing his name to Lucas. Fabricating his own death in a staged truck accident, Dallin had enlisted the help of a criminal network to set up a new life for himself and his accomplices, including diverting resources from Amelia's father's farms for their benefit. With Dallin in custody, his entire scheme crumbled, and all those involved in his scam were apprehended as well. Amelia's family was thankful to Pandora, as they had been victims of theft for years until she stepped in and exposed the thief. Despite the heartache and betrayal, Pandora found the courage to move on with her life and her children. She was determined not to let Dallin's deceit bring her down. With the support of Ethan and her friends, she continued to excel as a baker, creating delicious treats that brought happiness and flavor to many lives. Pandora never forgot what transpired with Dallin and the pain he caused her. However, she made the choice to move forward, find new love, and build a joyful and successful life. She became a symbol of resilience and determination in love, inspiring those around her with her story of strength and perseverance. And so, we conclude this gripping tale of love conquering all and new beginnings. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and share this video with your friends. To stay updated on our future stories, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.